It's top 10 season, baby. Well, hello there, everybody. I'm Photo Dave, and this is Toypixx, a channel dedicated to helping you and helping me get a whole lot better at our action figure photography. So, if that sounds cool to you, go ahead and click subscribe while I describe what's going on in this video, folks. It's top 10 season, and in this video, well, I'm just going to go over my top 10 favorite action figures of 2022. Now, there is one slightly large possible exclusion. Yeah, Galactus isn't an action figure. He's a toddler, so he is not up for consideration. Also, there were 5 figures I got this year that I sold off. So I did really well curating my collection and knowing what I wanted to pick up ahead of time, but I still wasn't perfect. However, 3 of them I'd already determined I was going to sell them off, and those are the 3 figures that came with Galactus. Got rid of those. And then the Boba Fett with the wonky eye from SH Figuarts. I still thought he was a good figure, but then SHF announced that they'd be doing a Boba Fett with a throne, so I sold my Boba Fett off and pre-ordered Throne Fett, and then there was Fugitoid. I really wanted to be in on the NECA Mirage Studios Turtles, but once I saw that Casey Jones had a waist cut instead of a ball-jointed waist, I knew I was not going to be in at all on the NECA Mirage Studios Turtles, so Fugitoid went see ya. Now with that said, everything else in this upcoming real quick montage is up for consideration, so let's roll it. And now, let's get to my top 10 favorite action figures of 2022. No honorable mentions in this list. Every figure you see is pretty awesome, at least to me. So, number 10 is Serpentor. Now, if you saw my G.I. Joe top 10 list of figures for 2022, you know that Serpentor came in number 2, and there's a reason. He's awesome. I really love the way that his torso moves. It gives the figure a whole lot more natural movement than what your basic G.I. Joe classified figure can do, just because of the, I'm assuming, ball joints, like the ball jointed waist and possibly ball joint or dumbbell in the diaphragm and that uppercut, so he can kind of go to the side and roll to the side a little more naturally than if he has just your standard G.I. Joe cut with the really deep ab crunch. And even as an added bonus, he gets that deep ab crunch with this articulation. I hope that G.I. Joe Classified starts going this way when it comes to articulation. And of course, everything else works very well. The air chariot was awesome. His sculpt is ridiculous. This is just a really fantastic figure. The Classified team should be very proud of this dude. Number 9 is the Mafex Comic Iron Man. I've been waiting for Mafex to get into the Avengers, and this is the first one they decided to try. So, he's a Mafex figure. I loves me my Mafex figures, so why is he so low on my top 10? Well, first off, remember, these are all incredible figures. I'm not sure I could go wrong with whatever order I went with here, but I will say he came with that giant cannon, which is a bit of a pain in the butt to use. Once I saw Robo on the Fwoosh try and put it together, I thought, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And that added to the cost. But aside from that, he's a phenomenal figure, and truly, he's exactly what you expect from Mafex. The one thing I would say that you shouldn't expect is, see, there's a little bit of gap at his waist here. and so you sort of see a little bit of below there coming into frame right now. You kind of see his legs and all that, so there's just that little bit of space. Maybe if it weren't for that space, he would have gone a little higher, but as it is, he's at number 9, and I'm still really digging the dude. Coming in at number 8 is my number 1 favorite G.I. Joe classified action figure for this year, Sergeant Slaughter. So, I said in the G.I. Joe list that Sergeant Slaughter competes against Mafex because of all the hands he came with and all the various accessories, including his own action figure, where I even said, well, he kind of beats Mafex when it comes to that. But now, looking at him, what you've seen so far is on the list, you realize something. He actually did beat a Mafex figure. I'm pretty impressed with this guy, and I'm insanely impressed with what the classified team is doing, and truly just can't wait till 2023 to see what else they've got cooking, because if the Sarge and if Serpentor are any indication, they're gonna blow all our minds this coming year. At number 7 is the Mandalorian Din Djarin plus Grogu from SH Figuarts. Now, I know not a lot of people really love this figure, but I gotta say, I love the shine on him. I love how posable he is. I know he can be a little bit of a pain. I know he's fiddly, but this is just the one I got. For whatever reason, I didn't pre-order the Mafex one, and I really just dig this one. Now, that doesn't mean that maybe when the reviews for the Mafex one that's coming out this coming year, possibly early next year, when that comes out, maybe the reviews will say, you know what, maybe I should get this one or get that one and then get rid of this one. I don't know, we'll see. But for now, this Mando and this Grogu are definitely a good fit for my collection and come in this year at number 7. Coming in at number 6, we have Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian from SH Figuarts. But here's the thing. Here's why he's only at number 6 when arguably this is the best Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker that's ever been made. And that's exactly it. His cloak speaks Mando, but what he's wearing underneath his cloak speaks Return of the Jedi all the way. But this is the perfect Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker. So it has to do a little bit with labeling, just what he was called, and also the cloak is kind of a pain in the butt. It's the most difficult cloak, piece of fabric, anything I've ever really had to play with when it comes to figures. So if it weren't for that, he might rank a little higher, but he'd have some stiff competition either way. Still, this is probably the very best Luke Skywalker that we've ever gotten in action figure form, based not just on his uniform, but that's probably just about the best 1/12 scale Mark Hamill likeness you're likely to find. So I was really excited to get one of my childhood heroes in possibly the best form he's ever been done, and potentially the best form he'll ever be done in. Woo, that's exciting. And now, a quick break with a shameless plug. I have a link in the video description below that takes you to Entertainment Earth. You click that link, it is the one with Toypixx in the URL, and you will save 10% off any in-stock items, and if you spend $39 or more, you'll also get free shipping. So click that link, help yourself save some money, and help me build up more of this army. Yeah. Ooh, crimson-y. Okay, back to the list. Coming in at number 5, and I'm going to be honest, number 5 through number 2 could all be interchangeable. But coming in at number 5 is Mafex Harley Quinn from the Batman Hush line. And I'm just going to say right up front, one of the things I really love about Mafex is a lot of times when I pick up one of their characters, I know that I will never have to buy that version of that character ever again. I will never ever have to buy another 1/12 scale Harley Quinn in this uniform. This costume is perfect. This Harley Quinn is perfect. The only thing that's annoying is she didn't come with something like a pop gun, but that's not Mafex's fault. That's DC's fault. Thanks a lot, Warner Brothers. So, just looking at her, I don't know what to say. This figure is, I mean, truly, to me, this is perfection. This is a figure I will never have to buy another version of this costume ever again. And who doesn't love a crazy clown with a mallet? So there you go, folks. Number 5, Harley. I got nothing else to say about that one. At number 4 is Fury Toys Samurai Animals / Samurai Turtles Spring. This is simply a beautiful figure that knocked my socks off when I got a hold of them. I don't think there's any other figure in this top 10 list that has all the massive, crazy, realistic-looking paint applications that this figure does, including the weapons that he has. He is just phenomenal. Oh, look. But one thing he is kind of small, so anything I pick up, you're just totally going to lose a large part of it as I'm talking about him. But the paintwork on him is exquisite. That's right, exquisite. And the articulation for such a small figure is pretty good. I don't even want to throw down about that. Now, the reason I got him is he was sold as being a 1/12 scale figure, so I figured he'd be about 5 inches tall, 5.5 inches tall, to be kind of what we think of as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But he's his own thing. He is not a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. He is a Samurai Turtle, so he's a little closer to 4 inches, but whatever size he is, he's one that I am insanely stoked I got. He is so good that I'm even gonna start growing my anthropomorphic animal type action figure collection, because there's a lot of cool ones coming out. You've got stuff from Maestro Union coming out, which might be the same company as Fury Toys. Nobody seems to know. I'm gonna have to go back and get Crocker. When you get a figure and it's so good that it makes you realize just how great it would be to get other figures that are similar, you know that it's a killer action figure. And obviously, I'm in for the rest of the Samurai Turtles and Master and whatever else Fury Toys wants to throw at me that's like this. That is how good Spring is. Coming in at number 3 is the first ThreeZero product I ever bought. It is the Transformers MDLX Bumblebee. And I'm going to be honest, for about 3/4 of the year, I was thinking, this figure is going to be my figure of the year. He is smooth like butter. This thing poses beautifully for such a little guy. He is just a lot of fun to take off the shelf to start fiddling with. Once I got a hold of him, I thought, man, ThreeZero can do no wrong. I'm going to have to start loading up on these. And I've got pretty much everything on pre-order with the exception of Cliffjumper, because as it turns out, ThreeZero can do wrong. They can pop a Cliffjumper head on a Bumblebee body. When, let's face it, I would have bought this mold totally again had it been just another red Bumblebee and they did Cliffjumper correctly. But when you see this figure and you realize as you're looking at everything that's coming down the pike for ThreeZero that is the only blemish so far, you're thinking, these guys really know what they're doing, and Bumblebee here absolutely proves it. I already got the repaint, the gold Bumblebee you see back there, but if I'm picking one, I don't want to throw a repaint in here, and the original Bumblebee is just a beautiful figure, and he's still readily available, so if you feel like it, get out there and grab him. Number 2 is a figure I've wanted for a long time, and I'm not necessarily talking about what this figure is wearing, but I have wanted a Mafex Spider-Man ever since I saw the reviews for 075 start coming out all over YouTube. I thought, holy jeez, I hate that I missed this figure. So earlier this year, when it was reissued, I put in a pre-order for it, and that pre-order was promptly canceled on me. But I had already put in a pre-order for this guy, and I am super stoked that I did. This Spider-Man body is everything all the reviewers all over YouTube have been saying it is. It is absolutely phenomenal. I can't believe how lucky I am to finally have one of these things. Now, there's the classic suit in the background there, that you see. But I decided this is the one that I had to put in as my number one Spidey, my number two figure of 2022, simply because he came with more accessories. I tried to be a little objective. You'll probably see the red and blue a lot more when it comes to photos, but as far as figures are concerned, and as far as being as objective as I can possibly be, I figured this one just edges it out based solely on the number of accessories. But I'm just blown away. I am really happy to finally have this Spider-Man in my collection, and even happier when the classic red and blue showed up, because there's just not much else I need when it comes to Spider-Man. I never need another black and white suit. I probably still want to get the 075 just because of the Peter Parker head, but if I never got that, I'd be totally happy with the red and blue. All I need now is for Mafex to release a Miles as a teenager, not the adult Miles that we got earlier. But yeah, I'm just super stoked to finally have a Mafex Spider-Man in the collection. Let alone two. Hey, follow Toypixx on Twitter at Toypixx. Yeah, that was a little random, but thought I should throw that in there because shameless. And now for my very favorite action figure of 2022. And coming in at number one as everyone's favorite robot dad, we have from ThreeZero, the Transformers MDLX Optimus Prime. Now, this is the first figure that showed up where I started questioning whether or not Bumblebee was going to be my figure of the year. He is absolutely beautiful. I love all the sculpt and the detail that ThreeZero puts on their figures. I mean, look at that. When's the last time you saw a toy company do that kind of craziness when it came to a figure's back? I mean, this thing is absolutely incredible, and if you've never gotten a ThreeZero figure before, like me until this year, the joints are just so smooth and they function so beautifully. They even find creative ways to make sure you can handle this thing, like these hip flaps. It takes a little bit to get used to them, but once you do, you just realize, wait, I can just arrange them however I want to make them look as good as I possibly can. They're just so cool. Like, it's just the way ThreeZero engineers figures. Once I'm flush with the monies, I might start really going nuts on a little bit more when it comes to ThreeZero, because I am absolutely blown away by the quality of their offerings. Like I said with Bumblebee, I've got everything but Cliffjumper on pre-order, because this line just is absolutely amazing. And Prime here was $80, which is about what Iron Man cost with his crazy cannon and all that stuff. But I would say when it comes to the paint, when it comes to the finish, when it comes to just how good he looks and what all he can do as far as articulation and the engineering and everything else, I would say this Optimus Prime is a much better value. And frankly, I would say ThreeZero right now, when it comes to the higher end action figures, is probably a really good value when it comes to the MDLX line. I'm telling you folks, don't sleep on these guys. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was my top 10 action figures of 2022. Now go ahead and comment below and let me know what your top 10 action figures of this past year were, because frankly, I want to know. One of the things that makes this hobby very cool is everybody's differing opinions, and we can see what everybody likes and maybe be introduced to something new that we never thought in a million years we'd dig, kind of like Spring and I this year, or even the ThreeZero Transformers. Well, frankly, I've been turned into a sucker when it comes to those two lines. So, I'll be sure to put affiliate links for all the figures that you saw in this video, and remember that I have an Entertainment Earth link below, the one with Toypixx in the URL, that if you click that, you will get 10% off anything you order on Entertainment Earth, and if you spend $39 or more, well, you'll get free shipping as well. So that's one of the reasons I really like it. I like that if you guys are looking for stuff on Entertainment Earth, this actually saves you money. And also, if you buy stuff, then those affiliates give me a commission, which means I get to build up my Cobra army, which of course I'm very jazzed about. So that's all I've got, everybody. Thanks a ton for watching this top 10 list. It was a lot of fun to put together, although a little frustrating because I had no idea where to put things. I just knew they were all cool. So, until next time, when I will actually do a video that has to do with action figure photography, have fun and happy snapping. See ya.